So this is Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm, and I just put my donkeys into a new pasture, and I thought it'd be a good time to show people why you don't really want to mow in Florida, especially your pastures nonstop, because they mow their pastures here all the time. If they have a small one, they'll mow it all the time because they don't want any weeds like this. Which you need the weeds for the healthier animals. But for some reason, like, we forgot that manure is good to grow crops. People that grow animals have forgotten that animals need a variety of plants to stay healthy. And we have lots of Caesar weed, and Caesar weed they eat periodically. It's different times of the year. It's usually in the fall. And I've had people I highly respect, cow growers here that I got my zebu from, and they said, "Oh, I hate that," when they saw my pastures. Seems everything we do is just so ingrained as being wrong to Floridians. And I know that all this other stuff that grows in here that the cows would eat, which once we get the permanent fencing and not the hot wire, I'm going to run the cows through here. I'm going to run the donkeys through. It's 4 pastures back here, and then there's 3, or there used to be 3. I'm going to put 3 back up there, but I'm waiting for them to finish my fences, which has taken forever. Thank God I'm having them do a little bit. So all this stuff they eat, that's what they need for their health. And people don't pay attention to what they're eating, and they don't pay attention to what they feed their cows. And I do. I buy organic grown hay that I give at night. I don't have to give them anything. You see all this feed here. We don't have to feed if we don't want to. This back 5 acres has been a horse pasture for 57 years. And people that owned it before us said it supports 5 horses year round, and it definitely could probably support more now, but not horses. I am too old for horses now. I've had horses my whole life, and I see that they can really destroy the soil. I love their manure, but they compact the soil. And this was heavily compacted, and that's why some areas, which I'm going to show you, has weeds. But you can see there's no standing water anywhere. I mean, and it's been like wet here. Soaking wet. I mean, torrential rains. All this feed in here, and biology, and with the manures and the old trees, has probably created a fungal mycelium net, a fungal mass growing on the soil surface, below the soil surface, in the roots of these other plants and trees. What I found when I mowed is that in areas that held water long, some areas in Florida, in the mowed areas, they would form ponds, and some of those ponds it appeared like they would sink. But they would dry out because it's still pasture or lawn, but it looked like the ground got lower. Like my neighbors, they put in like 2 foot, they built a house back here. I'll show you in a second. Well, it's right there. They built it like right on the property line, on like 3 acres, I think is what they got. And they put like tons and tons of fill in there because it was standing water in there. And they started mowing it. It was a cow pasture. And I just looked because I wanted to show you all. And it looks like their pasture has turned into one of those, because it was higher ground than ours after they got done with all their fill. The pasture appears like it's sinking. And they mow the pasture religiously. Like every week, every other week. A lot of the people around here don't, they have pastures, but they only mow them like every month or every other month year round. And I asked them why they did that. And they said because they don't want sedge, because horses don't eat sedge. And they don't want the weeds to grow because horses don't eat that. Well, this area here where the weeds are the tallest, the worst weeds, was the flattest, shortest growing grass you've ever seen in your life, and the horses loved it. They'd sit and eat it down to the dirt, but it was covered in green. It's totally adjacent to our pond, so it never got a chance to grow. So when it grew, guess what? It was sedge. And then I'm like, why is that? So yeah, sedge likes compacted soil, which is what happens in Florida when you mow. Just how it is. So we have a pond here that stays full year round. It's like a source of water for the cattle and donkeys. Though everyone's kind of spoiled these days. Donkeys are in the distance. Right in the middle. So I'm gonna show you the neighbor's property as soon as I get up here. I was kind of shocked to see it. And we get lots of water here, and you can hear there's no water splashing when I'm walking. So we don't have standing water anymore, people. And we don't have any of these sinkholes look like they're forming. And I believe that's because the mycelium has been destroyed, probably because they use that. Of course, they don't use glyphosate, so maybe they didn't. But it looks like a pond now. I mean, look at that. That's not a pond, that's a horse pasture. That used to be 2 feet taller than this, higher than this. And they got a couple cute miniature horses in there, and they seem nice people. They leave us alone. They don't use glyphosate. I've thanked them for that. But they mow their pastures all the time. That's what happens. Your soil becomes compacted. And I see this all over when I'm driving in Vero Beach and in areas. And it's just kind of surprising that people can fix the problem with Florida and nobody tells them how. So anyway, Florida's kind of a strange place, but it sure is beautiful. And I'm sure before we got here, like 50 years ago, it was probably even more beautiful. And I hope we can like keep the beauty in Florida and respect all the natural stuff about Florida and stop the stupidity. It's just stupid. It's stupidity is what it is. It's like mass, one brain, and a very smart one. They're not getting some extracorporeal intelligence from the fungi in their soil, that's for sure. But anyway, this is Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm, and I hope you have a good day.